Today might be a bit of a controversial video. I'm already going to state I'm not an expert on the subject. This is just my opinion from the couple times I have read these books. But I have an opinion on a certain Harry Potter character that I would like to talk about. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking and discussing my personal opinions on Professor Snape from the Harry Potter books and what I thought of this character. Now to start off, like I said in the intro, I'm not an expert. I've read the first 3 books of the Harry Potter series 3 times when they first came out, when I first got them, and then I started doing another reread, but I didn't actually get very far into it, and I've only read the last 4 books once in their entirety. I've only seen the movies fully once through, maybe the first one a couple of times. So like I said, I'm not a huge expert. This is just my personal opinion. If you have the opposite opinion of this character, I would like to hear about it, but just very politely in the comments where we can discuss it as adults. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about my personal opinion and feelings about the character Professor Snape. What I love about the Harry Potter series is a fantastic cast of characters and how you're drawn into the lives of all these characters and how you just fall in love with the characters. One of these characters I did not fall in love with was Professor Snape. A lot of people talk about Snape as a redeemable character, and in the end he was very brave and what he had gone through to protect. Now, I'm not going to go through too many spoilers, hopefully. Now, I know some people still haven't read all of the books, and a lot of people are just like, it's old news, but some people still haven't read them, so I'm going to try to not spoil them for you. Whenever I see Harry Potter merchandise or Harry Potter quotes, the word always from Professor Snape is one of those big Harry Potter quotes that are on everything. I personally refuse to buy anything that says always on it, just from the contents of the quote and what that meant. Professor Snape to me was not a redeemable character, he was not a likable character, and he did nothing for me that made me endear myself to him or even like anything he did. A lot of what he did was driven by his love and appreciation for Lily Potter. Lily was Harry's mother, and Professor Snape and Lily were friends when they were children and had gone to Hogwarts at the same time. Now you can argue that Snape truly loved Lily. I don't think Snape ever loved Lily the way people truly love another person. I think he really just loved her for selfish reasons. I believe that love isn't a feeling, love is an action. The actions speak louder than feelings or words because feelings are very fleeting and can change. I think Professor Snape was a very abusive character. He was abusive towards Harry and his friends. Instead of priding students who did excel, like Hermione, he played favorites to students who didn't excel, like Crabbe, Goyle, and Malfoy, and didn't really give Hermione the great potential that she did have by being a brilliant student, even coming from a Muggle family. Instead, he put her down, he put other students down. Instead of helping those that struggled, he was just a horrible favoritism teacher, and I've had those in real life and they are not fun. He was such an abusive and terrible teacher to the point that he was Neville Longbottom's greatest fear. When the boggart came out of the cupboard, that's who he turned into, was Professor Snape, and that is a magical creature that turns into your greatest fear. Now for me, if I was standing in front of the cupboard, Nagini would be coming slithering out of the cupboard because I hate snakes for a passion. Or spiders like Ron. But to have one of my teachers jump out of the cupboard, that teacher must have been just a full-on nightmare. So the abuse that Neville had gone through for that to happen to him must have been a lot more than even just the books portrayed. Even if teachers have favoritism or are jerks, they still do acknowledge students who are doing well or excelling in their class because it's a great compliment to them, even if they are a selfish teacher. But just to the fact that he didn't do that for the students who were, like I said, Hermione, that just made him a really sucky teacher. I also didn't find him very convincing as a double agent between like Voldemort and Dumbledore's side, because again, he had very selfish reasons for both of them. His treatment of Harry Potter should have been different because of the love he had for Lily, but it wasn't. Right up to the end, he was terrible to Harry. Even though he told Harry the truth at the end, in a way, that it still didn't make up for how he had treated them. Snape, even though while hiding the fact that he's protecting Harry and trying to be hide the fact that he's on Dumbledore's side versus Voldemort's side, he still would have found ways to protect Harry that didn't involve mistreating him. But my main issue with Snape was his relationship with Lily. He was mean to Petunia, who was already struggling with the fact that she had a sibling who excelled in something that she couldn't. And then he made Petunia feel even worse about it by making her feel even less special, which was kind of mean. And just, again, with that whole pure blood, even though he wasn't, mindset just made Petunia feel like a crappy person. If he really did care about Lily, maybe he would have tried more to make Petunia feel less out of the ordinary and kind of pull them into their friend circle, or at least treat her a little better. Lily had at least attempted to do that with Petunia when they were kids, as far as I understood when I read the books. So even in their childhood, Snape was already being mean to Lily's family. Then when they were in school, Snape was again falling into people in Slytherin who followed Voldemort. A lot of people think not every Slytherin is evil, which is true. Not all of them do become dark wizards, but he was falling into the group that did, or that did follow a dark wizard. Now, Lily, of course, did not want to follow that way and kind of fell in with her own different group and kind of separated herself from Snape. And again, Snape was just pulling himself away from Lily, but at the same time wanting Lily to come to him, rather than him changing his mindset to go to her. So with Snape taking one direction and wanting Lily to follow him, rather than changing his wrong opinion into something that he could do good with, Lily, of course, was drawn to somebody who did eventually grow out of his jerkishness in high school and become a decent human being, and that was James Potter. Thankfully, though, the group of Marauders, well, aside from one, did kind of grow out of their jerkishness and become decent human beings. In fact, some of the best characters in the Harry Potter books. Snape didn't seem to grow out of that jerkishness and that desire to follow into the dark side until later when he realized he was losing Lily. When he realized Voldemort's plan for destroying Potter and his family, he begged them to save Lily's life. He even wanted to sacrifice Harry and James just to keep Lily alive. Now, at this point, Lily's married. Snape should have finally given up at this point and just wanted her to have happiness, which again would have been a sign of true love for her, of wanting her to be happy, which she was very happy with James and Harry, and he should have just let her go on with her life and be happy and accept the fact that it wasn't him that could make her happy and move on. But no, he still coveted her, he still wanted her, he still loved her to the point of wanting to sacrifice her husband and her son to keep her alive. Now, if that were me, I probably wouldn't have been very impressed with this guy if I would have found out that my son and husband died because he wanted to keep just me alive. Of course, because of Snape's love for Lily, his Patronus did change into a doe and had that kind of symbol that he was still in love with her. And when Dumbledore asks, after all this time, Snape says, always. Now, there is an endearing love that Snape could have had out of respect and friendship for Lily that could have kept him wanting to protect and love and care for her, but really it just felt like pure selfishness for me. If he truly loved and wanted to protect Lily, he would have done all he could to protect Harry and James from that destruction. He'd have been maybe a smidge nicer to Harry, if not to blow his cover for the Dark Lord, but I just didn't think that Snape was a redeemable character. I didn't think he was brave at all. I thought he was very cowardice, and I just thought he was just a very mean character. Now, either I missed his redeeming points or I didn't understand it. I do plan on doing another read through of all of these books, but for me, Snape is just not a redeemable character and not my favorite Harry Potter character. So to sum it up, even if you are a double agent for the bad side and the good side, don't abuse children. It is wrong, especially when those children are for that good side that you're also a double agent for. Protect them. They're the future that is going to help you win this fight. Don't put them down. Don't bully them. You can still be the angry, cranky teacher who prefers your own house Slytherin without abusing and making yourself the nightmare of some of your other children. Second of all, if you love somebody, you don't abuse the ones they love. You don't prefer them over others, and you don't selfishly pursue them even when they have not chosen you. You hope for their happiness and their well-being, even if it doesn't mean it's going to be with you. His abuse of Petunia, of Harry, and his hatred towards James did not portray any love towards Lily. And again, once your person is married, It's best not to pursue them because they have obviously chosen a different path that makes them happy, and again, you wish for them to be happy. You don't beg to spare their life and sacrifice the ones they love so that you get to keep the one you love. Now, again, this is not to say that I did not like his portrayal of his character by the late Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman did a fantastic job of portraying how I thought Snape was. In fact, I think he even redeemed a little bit of Snape's horrible character from the books and made him a little bit more understandable in the movies. Let me know in the comments below, do you love Snape and why? Do you think he's a redeemable character? Do you dislike Snape and don't think he's a redeemable character? Let's discuss it politely in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it made sense. I kind of want to do more character discussions in the future. We'll see how this goes. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!